Hello, this is Richgo, Kim Ki-hyun. Finally, the year 2020 has begun. I hope you all have a year full of good things. These days, the weather has been so cold that it seems like a lot of people catching the flu. Please take care and have a lively day. You all receive an annual salary, right? Right. In Korea, there are countless apartment complexes, and there are places where the average annual salary of the residents exceeds 2 billion won. I know someone, not very closely, but I do know a person whose annual salary exceeds 3 billion won. So this person has a really high salary. And when I calculated the average annual salary of the residents in that apartment complex, it turned out to be a whopping 2.4 billion won. Do you have any idea where this place might be? It's Hannam-dong. So today I want to talk about the income and spending habits of the people living in this apartment and that apartment complex. Now, the map of affluent neighborhoods in Seoul has changed. The highest apartment prices in Seoul are not in Banpo, but in Apgujeong. These the details. Now, if you look here among the districts in Seoul, the area with the highest average household income is Yongsan, followed by Gangnam, and then Seocho. So, Yongsan, Gangnam, Seocho. So, I mentioned not long ago that Yongsan has now become number one for the first time. 세오초구 145면 1, 강남구 159.6해, 용산 153.79매, 송파 109, 돈다천민에, 송동구 101.41매, 마포구 95.52매, 광진구 90.65매, 양천구 97매. Prices seem linked to salary, right? In Songdong-gu, it's 101.41 million won. In Mapo-gu, it's 95.52 million won. In Gwangjin-gu, it's 90.65 million won. And in Yangcheong-gu, it's 97 million won. You can kind of feel that house prices are somewhat determined by the annual salary, right? So, we can see that people living in expensive apartments tend to have very high incomes. So, what is the monthly spending tendency like in Seoul? So, there's the monthly credit card spending amount, and place with the highest monthly credit card spending is it's Apgujeong-dong. They spend a whopping 12.36 million won a month. How much do you need to earn to spend 12 million won on a credit card? Because you know, to earn 100 million won, your annual salary has to be 100 million won, right? If your annual salary is 100 million won, that means about 6.33 million won gets deposited into your account each month. But this is double that, right? So it means that instead of having an annual salary of 100 million won, it needs to be around 300 million won. Because it's a progressive tax, so what does that mean? They're spending over 200 million won a year on their yearly pay. That's just credit card spending in a month. Isn't it great? So Apgujeong-dong is number one. Spending. Next is Banpo, then Hannam-dong, followed by Dogok-dong, Daechi-dong, and Yongsan. It's in the order of Cheongdam and Seobingo High School. So there are actually 8 places where the monthly credit card spending exceeds 10 million won. And it seems that the more you go towards Bucheon, more actively people are utilizing loans. In Apgujeong-dong, loans are 580 million won. Banpo, 576.66 million won. Jamwon-dong, 450 million won. Gaipo-dong, 460 million won. And Daechi-dong, 479 million won. This shows high apartment prices, mean high incomes, large credit card spending, and big loans. Hannam-dong has the largest mortgage. Yongsan-gu ranks first due to a specific complex, discussed later. Hannam-dong's average loan is 708.66 million won, the highest in 9. One Hannam. Annual income is 2.4 billion won. How much do they spend monthly on credit cards? We'll talk about that a bit later, but right now in Hannam-dong, the average loan amount is 708.66 million won, making it the neighborhood with the highest mortgage loans. So, if you look here, someone living in 9 One Hannam has an annual income of 2.4 billion won. How much do they spend on their credit card each month? They spend 20 million won on their credit card each month. To spend 20 million won on a credit card each month, you need to have an annual salary of about 500 million won. Only someone earning around 500 million won can casually spend that much on their credit card in a month. So, could probably spend around 20 million won a month. So, they just spend 500 million won a year on their credit card with a salary of 700 million won. I think you can look at it this way. So, if you look at the details here, there are 9 complexes where the annual income exceeds 300 million won. There are 28 places where the annual income exceeds 200 million won. So, it's increased compared to 2021. So, if you look here, which area among the apartments in Seoul has the highest resident income? It's the high-end, mixed-use apartment complexes in Hannam, Seongsu, and Dogok-dong. So, looking at the overwhelming number one, where is it? It's One Hannam. One Hannam in Yongsan-gu has an annual income of 2.426 billion. It's overwhelming. Isn't it amazing? But the second place is also Yongsan. So who is it? Hannam the Hill. So it's One Hannam and Hannam the Hill. As you can see, these two places have annual salaries of 2.4 billion and 1.4 billion, almost 1.5 billion. It's really amazing. It's incredible. These are really incredible salaries that ordinary people can hardly even imagine. So where's next? In third place is Daewoo Trump World. It's in Yeongdong-pogu. The average annual salary here is about 40 million won. So it's located in Yeouido. Next is Galleria Fore in Seongdong-gu. This place has an average salary, 630 million won. Next, fifth place is Tower Palace. This place has an average salary of about 490 million won. So, One Hannam, Hannam the Hill, Daewoo Trump World, Galleria Fore. Next is Tower Palace, first phase. So this is the top 5 highest annual incomes in South Korea. You can see it's an apartment here. Now let's go into Richgo. When you enter Richgo, you'll see a section for regional analysis or rankings. If you go into that, there's a ranking available. Let's go into the apartment rankings. Then we'll select this and check out the highest prices. This way, you can see the highest priced apartments across different regions in South Korea. Check out highest prices. So, where's the first place? The first place is One Hannam. If you look at it, a 100-pyong apartment costs whopping 22 billion won. But what's the average annual salary of the people living here? 2.4 billion. So if you just save for 10 years, saving for 10 years won't be enough. Because there are taxes. Still, compared to their annual salary, it's not even 10 times. So those people can afford to live in such apartments. So, what is the highest priced apartment in South Korea right now? Right, the next one is One Hannam. Again, this one is a 101-pyong apartment, also priced at 20 billion won. Then, where's next? It's Akro River Park, with a 96-pyong apartment priced at 18 billion won. After that, we have Akro Seoul Forest, which has a 75-pyong apartment priced at 14.5 billion won. Then, again, we have Akro Seoul Forest and One Hannam. Following that, we have Apgujeong Hyundai, 6th and 7th phases, with an 80-pyong apartment priced over 10 billion won, specifically 11.5 billion won. Next, Akro River Park has a 94 pyong apartment priced at 11 billion won. As you can see, it's just right there in front of your eyes. So these apartments, like the highest priced apartment in South Korea, Remyeon 1 Billy, has a 52 pyong unit priced at 10 billion won. 10 billion won, 82 pyong. But the actual transaction price is recorded on January 23rd. So the prices might actually get even higher now, especially for these large-sized apartments. There aren't many transactions. That's why, as you can see here, the sources of transactions and the rates of return are all different. So I think you can refer to these points, and I mentioned this part before when I was giving lectures at a construction company. So when you look at the data, there is an overwhelming shortage of newly built, large-sized, high-end apartments. So for those reasons, this place is like a completely different world. So there's an incredible scarcity here, which is why it operates in its own league. Now, if I want to look at Daegu, instead of Seoul, you just need to click on Daegu. Then, if you click on Daegu, you'll see the highest priced apartment in Daegu. Then, the Doosan Weave the Zenith in Beomyeodong, a 97-pyong unit, was traded for 5.4 billion won in August 2023. Then again, Daewang Honors 35. Doosan, Weave the Zenith, Daewang, and Honors are the most expensive apartments in Daegu. So, if you choose a region here, you can see the highest prices for apartments in that area, as well as the highest price per pyong. The price per pyong is the average price for apartments per pyong. Now, if you look here, it's a bit different because we can select the pyong size. But if we don't consider the pyong size and just look at where the price per pyong is the highest, we see that Apgujeong Hyundai, 13th and 14th phases have a price of 14 million won per pyong, followed by Remyeon 1 Billy at 14 million won, and Shin Hyundai at 13 million won. Akro River Park also has a price of 13 million won. So, as you can see, there are apartments with high prices per pyong and those with the highest overall prices, which are separate. You can refer to these points, and you can also check out various rankings on the Richgo app, so feel free to check it out often. The common features of these high-income apartment complexes are that they generally have a low number of units and focus on large-sized apartments. Additionally, privacy is highly emphasized, with thorough security and protection of personal space. The prices for buying or renting are also at the top tier. Furthermore, amenities are very important, including hotel-level services, high-end community facilities, privacy and views, as well as proximity to the Han River. These are common characteristics of high-income apartment complexes. So, the consumption patterns, there are obviously much higher than what we typically think. Now, if you look, there are exactly 5 apartments where the monthly credit card spending exceeds 20 million won. In South Korea, in Seoul, 9 One Hannam, then Hannam the Hill, Galleria Foray, Acro Seoul Forest, and Hyundai Hyperion are the 5 places where the monthly credit card spending exceeds 20 million won. So, it's a place where people with very high income and assets live. Next, places like Remyeon Prestige, Acro Mist, Acro River Park, Remyeon Dichi Palace, Banpo-shi, and Tower Palace are also reported to have monthly credit card spending exceeding 15 million won. So, the monthly credit card spending is really high. And another characteristic of these apartments where the wealthiest people live is that the proportion of actual residents is very high. In fact, these high-priced, large-sized apartments are quite rare, so they are very scarce. In fact, there are very few of these high-priced, large-sized apartments. Scarcity is many. So, it turns out that a lot of the people who own these places actually live there. The area with the highest proportion of actual residents is 9 One Hannam. It's about 74%. So, about 3 out of 4 people actually live there. I think that's how you can look at it. Another thing I've noticed is that the annual income of residents in wealthy apartments has sharply increased for the past 3 years. While the prices of homes in these areas have increased, incomes rose too. Despite prices, people are buying scarce Han River apartments without financial strain. Many construction and real estate businesses are struggling, but they might find opportunities in the high-end market. We can't only focus on Seoul, so I'll briefly mention areas outside the capital. And I think there are quite a few construction companies and real estate-related businesses that are currently struggling. But I believe these companies could find good opportunities in the high-end market if they look carefully. Now, I can't just talk about Seoul, so let me briefly mention some regions outside the capital. There are also places in the provinces where the income is very high. That place I showed you earlier is Daegu, and here the top apartment price in Suseonggu is Dusan Wevo Zenith. This is the annual income for 2024. The average price of apartments in this complex is said to be 265 million won. So this means that the annual income is almost similar to that of newly built apartment complexes in Banpo-dong, Seoul. So, even though it's in the provinces, the average annual salary of people living in Suseonggu, Daegu, is almost 300 million won. So, we can say it's very high, and the monthly card spending of the people living here is reported to be 17.75 million won. That's really a lot. And it turns out that in the case of wealthy apartments in the provinces, the proportion of actual owners living there is even higher than in Seoul's affluent neighborhoods. So, the data actually shows that the likelihood of the owners living in these affluent apartments in the provinces is higher than in Seoul. So how did you all feel about that? Honestly, I think some people might be feeling a bit overwhelmed. Because your monthly credit card usage amount is over 15 million won or 20 million won. This is actually something that's really hard for the average person to imagine. And it's not like their annual salary is 500 million or 1 billion. The average annual salary is over 2.4 billion. So there are places like that. So it's a place where just 0.001% of South Korea lives. Happiness doesn't require luxury or high income. Live steadily, diligently, and balanced. Money, relationships, and health are all important. Take care and create a great 2025 RichgoTV viewers. And isn't it true that you can be happy even without living in super expensive apartments or having a high salary? So, the most important thing is to live each day steadily and diligently, and to have a proper sense of balance in life. While money and financial management are important, my relationships and health are also very crucial. I hope all of our RichgoTV subscribers can take good care of these aspects and create a wonderful year in 2025. Thank you.